Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, 3. This is your homegirl, Arabia Bosa. A 914 Westchester County, New York. We're still in New York. Our mind is still in New York. Our hearts are still in New York. We're stuck here in South Carolina. We have been here in South Carolina for quite some time. Shout out to the chat. And I went out yesterday. I went outside yesterday for a little while because I had to go to the store, you guys. I had to go to the store. I'm thinking about tomorrow. I'm thinking about the rest of this week. I'm thinking about these YouTube streets. And I'm thinking about real life as well. And it's gonna be getting interesting, you guys. It's going to be interesting because I believe, and this is what I believe that things are going to change in this sector. I believe that certain leaderships will be questioned and put under a microscope. I believe that I'm not the only one in the sector that feels the way I feel. I believe there will be more women to speak up. Not only against the Kwamites, but the other groups that's in the sector and that totally disrespect women. They do. They try to say that they don't, but I see what the fuck they're doing. I see what the fuck they're doing. And I don't mean no harm. I just watched people yesterday and the day before go into a chat that they have probably never been in or didn't visit before. But they're going there to get a fresh breath of air from the bullshit, from the tonteria that is present in this sector. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I watched other YouTube creators support another YouTuber. And it's time. It's time. Those of us that have been in the sector, especially the women, it's time. It's time to move to the side and let fresh air blow through the sector. It's time. It's time that we don't have to go live all the time. We can let other people go live. We can listen to other people. We can enjoy ourselves listening to other content. Shout out to the chat. Good morning, Tamika. Thank you, Tamika, for coming in. Happy Sunday to you. I don't know if you worked last night, Tamika, or you're working right now. I don't know if you're working, but Lord have mercy. I am watching these YouTube streets very carefully. Very carefully. And I believe, and this is what I believe certain people in this sector is going to be challenged. Because people are tired of being disrespected in a nice, nasty way. All the nice, nasty YouTube creators will be exposed. I mean, I have done it in the past. I have done it in the past because I seen what was happening. I think it's so disrespectful, you know what I mean, for people to vote on something they know nothing about. And for people to cause problems for other people. Some people say, I mean, he overreacted. That particular, I don't give a fuck. And I find it very interesting that you can support people and they still disrespect you. They still find ways to slick dish you and think you're not supposed to say anything. Those days for certain YouTube creators in the sector is basically over because everybody is going to start speaking up and talking out. Shout out to the chat. I watched another female YouTube creator. Now, she's been here on these YouTube streets, but she's not in the sector. And she did a short video yesterday asking questions. And I answered the questions in my other video the other day when I talked about Willie Boskin. I answered the questions. The black community passes nothing down to their children. Nothing. You don't inherit nothing. You inherit nothing. Let me tell you something. My adoptive parents passed on. My biological father passed on. Don't you know none of these niggas left me anything? They were messy in life and they're messy in death. But that's how most black people are. That's why our community don't get nowhere. That's why we can't get along with each other. There is no real love. There is no loyalty. The animals love each other more than we do. And we're supposed to be made in the image of God. I find that I just can't wrap that around my head. How is human beings made in the image of God, and they do nothing that is of God? They don't remind me of God. They don't look like God. They don't behave like God. The animals do. The animals take care of their children more than human beings do. In the last 20, 30 years, women have been going in and out of abortion clinics, aborting their own children. Animals don't do that. They're not afforded the same rights or the same ways of living. They obey laws that Mother Nature set out for them, that the universe gave them. Human beings have this thing called freedom to do what they want to do. But we have laws too, but we don't listen to the laws. We don't obey the laws, because if that was true, I don't think I would be a part of the LGBTQ community. I don't think I would have been a part of that for over 20 years if I would have been following the laws of Mother Nature. What would there be? A husband, maybe children? Children would have been grown by now and out the house. Let's just say for shits and giggles, I would have followed the laws of Mother Nature. Let's just say for shits and giggles, if I would have done that, would my life have been different? Or would I be sleeping a dirt nap that Sergeant Crystal Reagan is sleeping? Huh? Because she obeyed the laws of the universe. She did what Mother Nature told her to do. She had children. She got married. She did what she could to protect her children. And guess what happened to her? She's sleeping. I'm not saying what happened to her happens to all women, but I am saying it is becoming more and more a common occurrence. The female lion protects her children more than a human woman does. We got more children in foster care this year than we had last year. We got more children that are up for adoption this year, and they're not going to be adopted. They're not going to be adopted this year. You know why they're not going to be adopted? Because something is going to happen to stop the adoption process. Something is going to happen to stop it. Not saying that all adoptions are right or good, because they're not. These people are not adopting these children because they love them. They're adopting these children because they want the money. They want the extra bonus money that's coming to them. They want to fatten their pockets. They want to fatten their bank accounts. They don't spend money on those kids. They don't. They take whatever the monies that they get from the states or the counties and put it in bank accounts. A lot of those people hoard that money. The people that raised me, they were hoarders. They hoarded money. They kept not one bank account. From what I understand, there was more than 5 different bank accounts in different banks. We lived in New York for many, many years. I was born there. I was raised there. I went into foster care. By the time I got there to wherever I was going, into that nightmare, those people had different bank accounts in different banks. I saw what they did. When we moved down south, they opened up bank accounts in all the banks in Lee County that they could, and Sumter. I watched them open a bank account right there in Florence, South Carolina. Shout out to the chat. Everywhere they went, they conducted business with different banks. They were hoarding money. Shout out to the chat. An animal doesn't get granted any money. They don't get Social Security, disability. They don't get pensions. They don't get money from their jobs. They don't get anything from the state for taking care of their own cubs. Tigers take better care of their children. Lions, bears, birds. And I said, what is wrong with people? What is wrong? That's the only thing I ask. I got questions about the universe now. I got questions about that Bible. I got questions about who God really is and what does that person look like, because I don't think it's human. I don't think that at all. I think it's something else. Something more frightening. That face is more frightening than what death looks like. That's what I think God looks like. And we're getting closer and closer and closer to the truth. And the truth shall be revealed. But unfortunately, nobody that has died has come back and said, God looks like X, Y, and Z. I watch people in this sector make fun of me, right? Call me, Minty Fresh, Dr. Rivers. Now, what if God looks like me? Everybody that talked bad about me is going straight down. They will be Coco Tussled and vanquished. What if God looks like me? Huh? I mean, I laugh. Let's just say, for shits and giggles, God looked like me. What people gonna do? I wake up with a sense of humor. I wake up with a sense of humor. Now, But shout out to 27 Darren. Before I went to sleep, before I closed my eyes, I heard 27 Darren say what she was going to post on her channel concerning what TJ said about Kevlo's mother and the relationship that his father, which is Willie Brown, had, I guess, with certain family members. This is a public service announcement. I want the whole world to hear this. Willie Brown ain't the only one that has done this to his family. He's not the only one that has come in and destroyed his own family. He's not the first one to make trouble. There's plenty other men who are from the South who come into different women's lives, have families, and then turn around and destroy the same families that they create. They destroy. That's why I kept telling people, don't trust people from South Carolina. And I mean it. You think I'm just blowing wind out of my ass? No, I mean it. John Moses Reagan is from fucking South Carolina. What did he do? He killed 4 people. 2011. Sergeant Krista Reagan, Sierra Laquan Rashid. He stabbed a 6-year-old boy over 27 times. What did a 6-year-old do to him? He burned down the house. When they found Sierra, she was burned beyond recognition. When they found Sergeant Krista Reagan, she was almost decapitated. When they found Laquan, he was stabbed, I don't know how many different times. They found that house in disarray. They found blood all over that fucking house when the police did their investigation. But it could have been stopped. And I don't mean no harm. If Sergeant Krista Reagan would have never married that drop shot, she should have. When she divorced my brother, when she divorced Michael, she should have married nobody else. She should have kept to herself. But no, she became weak, just like other women who get trapped into thinking they gotta be so feminine, they gotta be this, they gotta be that. We gotta fit the stereotype. A lot of women wanna fit the stereotype. They want to be mothers. They want to be housewives. For what? For what? What's the real big payout? Because I don't see no big payout. I don't see no way out. And that's my opinion. I chose a different path. I'm stuck. So no matter what we do, we there's no freedom. And then when our parents pass away, or whoever passes away, they don't pass nothing down. They were messy in death as they were in life. As they were in fucking life. Shout out to the chat. And I find it very frustrating. You know? You go out and you work a certain job in the real world. You know, I think in this sector, we got some guys in this sector that have skills and trades. You got Musso Bronze. You got The John Show. You got Will T. And you got Ro Rich. Ro Rich is an electrician. Will T is a sheetrock installer, a painter. The John Show is a bricklayer. He's a master bricklayer. And I think I mentioned someone. Oh, Musso. Musso, he fixes trucks and cars and all that. He's a very good mechanic. Those four men, they're in their sector, and they have skills and trades. They seem to be happy what they're doing. They got careers. They got careers. And a lot of them didn't have to go to school to get their career. You know what I mean? They learned the skills on the job. On the job. John Show, he was in someone's chat yesterday, and I was telling somebody in the chat, I said, John Show used to do videos where he talked about his job, showed what he did on his job. I remember one time John Show pulled out a blueprint, and he was reading the blueprint. Then he took a tape measure and started scaling the measurements of the blueprint. He was teaching people a skill. Nobody was paying attention. Nobody was paying attention. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. It's not easy going out in the world working. Tamika, you work. I work. Lonnie works. There's a few of us in the sector that actually works. And we know what we're facing every time we walk out the fucking door. You know? That's why I get so angry and upset with people who do any type of, I don't care if they didn't mean no harm. I don't care if they meant jokes. It was disrespectful. Because I'm doing something you don't do. And people are like, well, why would anybody talk about some fucking shit on Instagram? I looked at my Instagram DMs yesterday. Nobody's in there. Nobody's in. Only one person sent me a message. All my other why don't you ask who emails me? Why don't you ask who calls my number? Why don't you ask who texts me? Why don't you ask those questions? Shout out to the chat. Been in this sector long enough. The Qualmites don't even talk about me like certain other YouTube creators do. You know what? It's ridiculous and it's frustrating. But I know that a lot of motherfuckers in the sector, especially some of the men, got the Marcus Wesson ego going on. A lot of them are possessed by the spirit of Marcus Wesson. And Marcus Wesson is still living. He's not dead. Shout out to the chat. I watched the movie last night. It's called Ed Kemper. Ed Kemper was a serial killer. He was a serial killer back in the day. I want to say back during the 60s and 70s. He started out killing animals, then he killed his grandparents. Then he went out in the world. He killed some young women he took from off the street. You know, they were hitchhiking. He took them. He killed them. He had sex with their dead bodies. He cut them up. He got rid of their bodies. He killed his own mother and had sex with his own mother's body. He's a serial killer. His name is Ed Kemp. He's in prison right now. I don't think he's ever going to get out. Shout out to the chat. He's there. And he's not there because the police were looking for him. He's there because he called the police and he waited for the police to come get him. Same thing as the BTK killer. The BTK killer had been killing for years, and he decided to get in touch with the police through the mail. So that's showing that the police are not doing their fucking jobs. They're not catching these people that are killing people, that are serial killing people. They're not catching these serial rapists. They're not catching these people. They're not doing nothing for their money. But the taxpayers are paying for these police departments to be up and running. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Gosh darn it, we got to get rid of the police. The only time they did their job is when they arrested me. Let's say that again. The only time them pigs did their fucking job is when they fucking arrested me. That's the only time they did their jobs. It seemed like they did their job. They wasn't looking for no Ed Kemper. I looked at his movie last night. He was having sexual relations with dead bodies, but he's not the only one. I don't think a lot of people know what goes on in funeral homes. I don't think a lot of people know what's going on in some of these places that your loved ones go to when they die. Because there's been different reports on different people having sexual relations with dead people, heating up the body, heating up the female genitalia with a curling iron, leaving it up there, taking it out, putting their penis in, having sex with the dead woman. I don't see how anyone has sex with a dead woman. Because when the person dies, their body starts liquefying after a certain amount of time, depending on the temperature of the place or wherever they are that they died or they passed away. Shout out to the chat. Good morning, Uncle L. Uncle L, well, there's no real subject, and we're just all over the place this morning. I'm just all over the place this morning, talking about how the police ain't doing their job, and talking about that terrible movie I watched last night about Ed Kemper. Ed Kemper was a serial killer. He was someone, that was killing people. I want to say during the 60s and 70s. I'm not exactly sure of the time period. And how the police didn't catch him until he made the phone call. And that wasn't the first time he snitched on his own self. That's not the first time he snitched on his own self. You know what I mean? And that's why I said certain people reoffend. Like me, I got what robbery on my jacket. That's the only real major felony I got. That charge is 30 years old. I have not reoffended yet. You don't see me going into a bank or into a store and robbing it and holding it up. You don't see me doing that. So there's just certain offenders, certain people, certain people that commit certain crimes that do not reoffend. When we are released from the penitentiary and we max out or whatever the case may be, we do not reoffend. There are some people that reoffend. And what I'm saying is the police do not do their jobs. They do not try to capture these people. They just seem disinterested in doing their job. That's what I'm saying, Uncle L. Shout out to chat. Shout out to Tamika, Uncle L. Shout out to anyone that's in the chat. Shout out to you. I hope everyone's having a happy Sunday. Hope everyone is having a happy Sunday. Yesterday was an interesting day. Oh, I started getting in my mind with that Swahili. And I said, oh, Lord, I had to turn off the YouTube. I had to turn off the YouTubes. Yeah. Today is Sunday, Uncle L. Today is Sunday. I don't usually work on the weekend, Uncle L. Yeah. And that'll probably be Monday. See, we're not walking. Uncle L, don't you feel relieved that we're not walking today? We're not in the dark. Okay, we are in the dark. But we're in the dark of my house, in my bedroom. But we're not outside. We're not in the dark. We're not walking down the street this morning. I thank everyone that walks with me. Yo, them be some serious walks. Those be some serious ass walks, man. It seems like I learn something new every time I do it. But I noticed that if I go to the office, the one downtown, after 6 o'clock in the morning, I don't usually get on a ticket. If I go before 6 o'clock in the morning, I get on a ticket. This is one place I've been there like 2, maybe 3, 4 different times. And I have never been sent out on a ticket dealing with that particular tip company. It's not too far from my house. It's like a 20-minute walk from here. The 20-minute walk place don't send me out. But the place I gotta walk to almost an hour to get to sends me out. Ain't that something? But there's one I've been dealing with. There's one company I've been dealing with on and off since I was 28 years old, even though they changed the name. They changed the name of that company. They had to change it because they had too much shit riding on them. Good morning, Arabia, and everyone in the chat. Thanking God. Wonderful. Okay, thank you for coming in, VA. And we always get these holy rollers, some of these holy rollers to come into the chat. And they don't know that I don't believe in God like that. I've never believed in God like that. I grew up in the church. I read the Bible. I participated in being an usher or on the choir, but I never believed in God like that because I saw the corruption of the church. And I saw how people was using the name of God to do certain types of evil. So I never got involved with the church. I stayed away. When I got older, I left the church. I never went back. I left. I never went back. I never stepped foot back in the church again. And as time went on, I started seeing more preachers allowing people that is a part of the LGBTQ community into the pulpit. I start seeing, even though I'm a part of that community, I do not agree with seeing a person, a part of the community in the pulpit preaching anything. I don't believe that. I don't believe in it. But there's a lot of churches that are doing it now. And there's a lot of churches getting ready to show their face. You know, this one pastor that got busted, that sis did the Sunday services on, and the man got busted, and some of the people that was with him got busted. This is not the first time this has happened, that someone in some kind of religious organization has been exposed. Organized religion is always filled with some type of corruption, some kind of bullshit going on. I don't know what these people got going on. And I don't want to know. But I find it very interesting that when you do the documentary of Sylvester the singer, he talks about when he was a part of the church when he was young, how certain men in the church were sexually abusing him. See, we got a lot of that going on in the church. We got a lot of stuff happening with these pastors and these preachers and these deacons and these bishops. We got a lot of that going on in church, and they all need to be exposed. They all need to be exposed. They need to be put on Front Street. You know, they got one church, one dude, I believe he was running for mayor a couple of years ago. He was so bad with his speeches and stuff. Anyway, to make a long story short, find out the man was over a church and the man was not paying his bills for the church. He wasn't paying the tax bills. He wasn't paying the water bill. He just wasn't doing what he's supposed to be doing with the church funds. He wasn't. And shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I'm not going to be up here that long, but yeah, I just wanted to come in real good before anyone else went live. Shout out to those that go live. Shout out to those that can hit the live button without anybody's permission. Shout out to you. I think Vince is going live this morning. I'm not exactly sure. Because he said that he was going live a few times and he never went live. Yeah, the spirit of EJ is jumping onto some of these YouTube creators. They say they go live and never go live. The spirit of EJ has flown on to Vince the Sniper, has flew on to highly favored. People say they go live, but don't never go live. Other people gotta come in and be like, damn, the person didn't go live. Okay, we're gonna go live. And that person will hit their live button. I'm telling you. Even Sis would be like, oh yeah, I'm getting ready to go live. And Sis say, I'm getting ready to go live at 8 o'clock in the morning. Sis be running late. But I've never known him not to go live. He might not be up there that long, but I've never known him not to go live. I've never known Fats TV not to go live. Fats been going live for the last 2 weekends. I guess Fats had to work yesterday because he didn't go live. But shout out to all my YouTube creators. Shout out to all of them, whether they go live or not. And I just want to remind people. I want to remind everyone, this is a public service announcement. I want to remind everyone that it's okay to be human. It's okay to have feelings. And it's okay to go live if you feel like going live. Can anyone hear me? I think we have some technical difficulties over here. But I just want everyone to know it's okay to go live if you want to go live. It's quite fine. I understand. If you feel like you want to hit that live button, yeah, everybody know it's true. Uncle L laughing. Everybody know it's true. Uncle L is certain YouTube creators that are being hit with the spirit of EJ. EJ was good at. I'm not subscribed to him, but I know there was a few times. Okay, I remember there was this time I was subscribed to him, Uncle L. He said he was going live around Halloween or something or some other stuff. Anyway, the man never went live. He never made it. He ended up going live the next week. Ain't nobody want to hear what he said the next week because he promised his audience he was going live that particular day at that particular hour. We understand people be getting late. Yeah, Vince is supposed to be going live today. But there might be a chance he don't go live. I'm just saying. He had some stuff put on pending, like on it, getting ready to happen, but things happen and he don't go live. Things happen. Holly Favorite, she was supposed to have went live. She never went live. So I'm like, damn, they being hit by the spirit of Egypt. Ooh, Lord. Which is okay. Nobody cares. Yeah, Uncle L, that's what I was saying. But I'm getting ready to close out this video. Yeah, and I had a public service announcement. I was telling people if they want to go live, they can go live. They don't have to wait on nobody. They don't have to have permission. Go live because you can. Go live because you feel like it. Uh-oh. There go my alarm. I'll see you guys later. Peace.